Robert Knotman. Somerville gripped the steering wheel. His knuckles were white, his pulse throbbed in his ears. Tonight was the night. He could feel it. Beside him, his best friend and navigator, Jack Wheels Willis, grinned, his eyes gleaming with excitement.
Ready for this, Knotman?
He yelled over the roar of the engines around them.
Born ready!
Knotman shot back, his voice tight with anticipation. His gaze swept over the crowd, settling on his pit crew, their faces grim, focused. They were the best in the business, and they had poured their hearts into his car, a sleek, black beast of a machine he affectionately called Raven. Tonight, Raven would need to be at her best. The competition was fierce, and the stakes had never been higher. The air crackled with electricity. Neon lights painted the night sky in vibrant hues, reflecting off the gleaming chrome and polished paint of hundreds of souped-up cars. The roar of engines, the excited chatter of the crowd, the pulsating beat of music. It was a symphony of sound and fury. This was the world of illegal street racing, a world where adrenaline was the drug of choice and speed was the ultimate high. And tonight, at the infamous Thunderdome, the energy was palpable, the stands were packed, the air was thick with smoke and the scent of gasoline and perfume. Everywhere Knotman looked, beautiful women in impossibly short skirts and sky-high heels laughed and flirted. This was a spectacle, a dangerous, seductive dance with the raw and the death, and everyone wanted a front-row seat. Knotman's eyes locked onto the VIP platform where DJ Jemma Bolt, the siren of the underground racing scene, was seducing the crowd with her beats. Her voice, husky and intoxicating, echoed through the speakers. And then he saw her, Melissa Mendy, the ultimate prize for tonight's victor. Her allure was irresistible, a tantalizing mix of grace and danger. Her emerald green eyes, glinting with mischief, met his, and a slow, seductive smile played on her lips. Knotman's heart pounded in his chest. Winning Melissa's heart wasn't the sole reason he raced, but it was an irresistible temptation. He had to win, not just for the glory, not just for the bragging rights, but for the chance to feel Melissa's warmth in his arms. Her allure was irresistible, a tantalizing mix of grace and danger. Her emerald green eyes, glinting with mischief, met his, and a slow, seductive smile played on her lips. Knotman's heart pounded in his chest. Winning Melissa's heart wasn't the sole reason he raced, but it was an irresistible temptation. He had to win, not just for the glory, not just for the bragging rights, but for the chance to feel Melissa's warmth in his arms. Section 4, Green Light. The starting line was a kaleidoscope of color and light. Knotman adjusted his helmet, his gaze fixed on the green starting lights. He could hear Wheels' steady breathing beside him, their years of friendship and shared passion forging an unbreakable bond. The air crackled, the crowd went silent, holding their breath, and then the green light flashed. Engines roared, tires screeched, and a collective gasp swept through the crowd as the cars shot off the starting line, transforming in an instant from steel and chrome into streaks of color and light. Section 5, a fiery race to the finish. The race was a blur of speed and adrenaline. Knotman wrestled with the wheel, pushing Raven to her limits. The world outside became a tunnel of flashing lights and roaring engines. He could feel the other racers on his tail, their engines growling like hungry beasts. But Knotman was in the zone, his focus absolute. He knew every inch of the course, every twist and turn, and he used that knowledge to his advantage. He could hear Wheels calling out directions, his voice calm and steady, a reassuring presence in the chaos. Trust. They had that in spades. It was what made them the best. The finish line was a distant beacon calling to him. Knotman pushed Raven harder, ignoring the sting of sweat in his eyes, the burn in his lungs. He could taste victory, could almost feel Melissa's lips on his. Section 6, Victory and its prize. The roar of the crowd reached a deafening crescendo as Knotman crossed the finish line, a car length ahead of his closest competitor. He'd won. The Knotman had done it again. Elation surged through him, a potent cocktail of adrenaline and triumph. He could hear Wheels whooping beside him, but the sound seemed to come from far away. His gaze was fixed on the VIP platform, searching for Melissa. She was there, her eyes shining brighter than the diamonds around her neck. Her lips curved into a smile that made his heart skip a beat. She was his, at least for tonight. As the crowd swarmed him, Knotman couldn't help but smile. Tonight, he was the king of the Thunderdome, and Melissa Mendy was his queen.
And tonight, the king and queen shall reign supreme.